another one. I'm not showing you all of them. That one, they were going to cut it down, I think. Was that not right, Sean? Well, this one was that?
That's the Campbell.
What now?
That's the Campbell tree, big tree right there.
That's who's that? Tyler Campbell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Very good. Okay. I thought that was a different one, though. And this tree's a lot bigger now, too, I guess. That's the unofficial state champion of Arkansas, and we can't announce that. So here's what our goal is. We're an organization of men and women that don't want to lose this once important tree, our Ozark forest. Y'all heard the people talk this morning, Joe and Harold, about how important this tree once was. And so when you hear things like that, it inspires you, and it strengthens your resolve. And folks, let me tell you what, this tree was just not important. It was a keystone species. And in my way of thinking, if we don't have any projects worthy of our best efforts, and this isn't one of them, then there are none. That's my opinion. So a recovery action plan is find surviving trees, collect seed, pollen, and grass from it, preserve the genetics, cross-pollinate surviving trees, which we're doing, inoculate the finished trees with the blight. That's the only way to know if we're going to be successful or not with these trees. And let's see, Professor Powell, where are you at? Okay, very good. Professor Powell is going to share some incredible breakthrough information with the chestnut today, and he's going to teach us a way to fast forward our efforts 5 to 9 years. And science and genetics, we are done a lot of work in the lab. Hypovirulence, me and Steve Churchill both. I don't know how to keep this straight. Steve Churchill, Steve Mallory. Anyhow, we've done work with hypovirulence, which basically you can inoculate the tree with this blight, and the tree will heal over from it. We got USDA approval to make that happen, and that was 4 years to make that thing happen. Raise public awareness and outreach. We can all do that. Kelly and Donna are singing for the trees. I talk about the trees to people. All of us can make a difference on it. Raise money for the projects. We talked last night at our board meeting about this, and Steve Mallory gave a real good presentation about the long-term partnering with people to build those relationships. And our board that we set up is to make things like this happen. Dedicated locations in and out of range of the blight. We've already got that. Seat available to the public for reintroduction. And this is our first meeting we had at Tonka Elk Education Center in 2007, and all those people you see are still working with us today. This one gentleman here, John Logan's been at every single meeting, and we haven't heard from him. We don't know what's going on, but all those people have been very dedicated. Mike Fione wanted to be here today. He just got the job as the head, I guess, of the nursery for the state of Missouri, our main nursery that sells 3 or 4 native trees a year, 3 or 4 million. And he's in a position now where he's going to take the Ozark Chinquapin and make it available to all Missourians. And so it's a really good thing. Here's a higher calling. This is Hobbs State Park. We have people in this picture from Connecticut, from just all over. So a really neat thing. I go out and I pretty well had to quit gardening except for one little raised bed I've got now because the Chinquapins have taken over from my gardening. I take my family out with me. These are former students I had and I taught school. And they come out. This whole hillside is empty right now. This whole forest has been cleared. And right now there's a forest of Chinquapins that are crosses, nothing but crosses. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 96 or 97 there today. Cross Chinquapins. Large tree, cross the seed from that. And this is the first year I have not cut trees to open up the plots more. I've been doing it every year. I looked at my old notes. I've done it every year since, I guess, 2006. This is the first year I've not done it. Things have been busy this year. But anyhow, we kept on going with it. So everybody's got a lot of stuff to do. This is one of our first plots that we planted on Indian trails in Dent County. And you can see it's real hilly. It's on a slope, south-facing slope. These trees right now probably number around 100 where this is at. And they have incredible crops of nuts. We have, it's just unreal to see what these trees are doing. I'm talking trees that are 5 years old plus. They're way taller than the ceiling. One tree was spread from here to that guitar. So many nuts, the branches are hanging down because they're so loaded with nuts. And we're seeing all kinds of unusual things too. We have turkeys hanging out at them. You can't keep the deer away from them, and a good problem to have. We found out a lot of things about these trees that we didn't know, and we've had a lot of people jump on board, Harold. We've had schools, colleges actually take on planting these trees as a class project. And so a lot of good things have come from it. I actually sent some seed down near Cherry Valley, that school down there, and the teacher contacted me and said, we would like to, am I saying the right name, Cherry Valley, isn't it, Sean? Is it Cherry Valley School where you're at?
Valley Spring.
What name?
Valley Spring.
Okay. And so anyhow, the teacher down there was going to do a greenhouse project and plant some Ozark Chinquapins. I sent seed to him. And so he actually took those seed and planted them. And then one of the students, when that tree got up a little bit and saw the leaves, he said, I know where one of those trees is at. And he was I think a junior in high school. He went out and found the current Arkansas state champion, Ozark Chinquapin. It was over 70 feet tall. A storm broke the top out, and the tree is still healthy and alive today. So that's what came from it. So there's a big connection. If you ever wonder where the colored chestnut comes from, there you go. And I've done a lot of experimenting. A friend of mine at the University of Tennessee was telling me about nut grafting. And so I was trying to look for a way to accelerate what we're doing. You can actually take a nut, Ozark Chinquapin nut as a root, take a razor blade, cut it away, and you can see that immature petiole inside that nut. And you can actually go out to an Ozark Chinquapin tree, shoot a branch off on the end of it that will produce a nut. And if you do it correctly, you can actually take that bud and stick it in, wedge it into that nut, and then this little twig thinks it's still on the parent tree. You can do everything right, keep the temperature 70 to 75 degrees, don't water the union, put water around it, it will sprout roots, and it will begin to grow like this one has a bud on it. And about a third of the first year will produce nuts and pollen the first year. And but it was a lot of work to do this. I had to carry these with me basically every time I went home, everywhere I went. It was a lot of work. Then we found out the Ozark Chinquapins will produce pollen the second year. We didn't know that. That's the third year. So that eliminated this need to do this. This unflattering picture is Chris White. I'm glad he's not here today. A lot of work going out to actually bag these trees where the female flowers are at. And there's only a real narrow window. And Shane is at like 2 days, something like that. 2 to 3 days. Real narrow window that we working in and actually cross-pollinating these. That's me doing some right there. And so just a lot of work, but it's paid off. I said if we just get one nut from crossing those, we're heading in the right direction. So what have we learned from all this in the field and laboratory work? What kinds of things have we discovered about these trees? Well, there's a whole plethora of things that was not known about these trees. First of all, AJ put this together. This is the spread of the blight, and we actually have maps that we're going to show you later on today that shows this. So by the 1950s, it spread into the Ozarks and in East Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, northern Louisiana, and was wiping out. So this is a range map more closely to what we've had of the trees here in Alabama. And we also found remnant populations in Virginia, and we have reason to believe that Joey been here today could have told us we think we may have some in Georgia as well. This is a 2-year-old tree right here. Me and Mike were smiling really big. There's one behind us that's 6 feet tall. These are trees that were planted. These are 2-year-old trees, and they actually produce pollen. And we could not get over a tree actually making pollen that quick. We're standing on extremely rocky ground right there. And Sean, do you remember the name of this insect? It's some type of invasive oak, I think more is what Chris said it was, or oak leaf insect. But a lot of insects like them. We found out that it's also a magnet for rare neotropical birds like this northern parula. So when you bring a species back, you start having things happen. And Colton, you'll raise your hand up. Colton's did a pollinator study, and he's going to tell us a little bit later on about that. This is a picture from 2012, West Plains, Missouri, and Mark Dunham was doing her presentation, and we were all very interested in that, really good stuff, about how important the tree was to the Cherokees. This is a picture of the cactus and the female flowers right here. And once you get up in that, it's smell. The only thing I can compare it to is kind of like honeysuckle. It's just a really unique smell. You'll never forget it. I wish there's some kind of cologne made of it. I smell some of that every day. Here's a 3-year-old tree. This is the first tree I planted on a research test plot. This is on Pioneer Forest land in Shannon County. That tree is 3 years old, and that's it sticking up there. Incredibly fast growth. And that's just some of the nuts. I thought that was a lot. We actually bypassed this. There were 17 nuts on that. We found some before that's beyond 20 nuts for the end of it. Real important food for wildlife. The American chestnut is so large, turkeys have a hard time eating them. And some of this stuff we've done, we'll put you in a coma. One of the teachers at Licking, Missouri, actually, his class, they cut open the crops of turkeys. I don't know if I even told you this. They examined and identified every seed, every nut in there, and broke it down by categories, different months of the year, like the spring turkey season and the fall, seeing what they were eating. And it's real hard for them to actually eat the American chestnut's too big, but the Ozark Chinquapin is perfect, just the right size for that. Here's some more things going on. This is near where we've got some of the largest trees we know growing on planet Earth. And big old smile on Shane's face there. You found a survivor pop up there. And if you don't put a grow tube around it, that thing will be a goner. And Harold, you've seen a few of these up there, haven't you? And this tree right here you're looking at is a 1-year-old tree, and it's a 4-foot tall too. If you don't put protection around them, the deer will eat them. Very good.
How long is those growth tubes supposed to stay on?
Well, when the tree gets big enough that it outgrows and I was removing them, now I had to put them back on because some other new information, for the same reason that buck deer like cedar trees and sassafras, they also like the Ozark Chinquapin, I found out about. So up on the tree plots, I hate to say this, somebody's got to go up and try to manage the buck population that's going to damage our trees. So I'm going to take care of that. That's okay. I've got it, Harold. That's okay. I saw how big the buck is he kills. I don't want him up there. And here's something else. It took a lot of work to get enough nuts to do this, but in winter of 2011, thanks to Arkansas Forestry, Sean and Chris, we were able to send in nuts. We had protein analysis done, and here's the Ozark Chinquapin, and white oak, scarlet oak, American chestnut. And I was surprised the American Chestnut Foundation didn't have this information anywhere, so I had to call, I guess, Professor Fulbright in Michigan, and on the phone he gave me this and permission to use it. So 5 to 8% on protein, 43% on carbohydrates, 3 to 5% on fats. He wasn't for sure the trace minerals. And my whole life I'd always heard that the American chestnut was the highest protein food in the woods. And we plant these Chinquapin trees, and everything was trying to dig them up and eat them, and we didn't know why. Look at this. Double the rate easily of the American chestnut on protein, and you're looking at about 3 times more of the white oak, which is always considered the #1 wildlife food. And on carbohydrates, you look at that one, just completely off the chart. The only one that comes close is the scarlet oak on fats. And when you look at things like magnesium, right now everybody's talking about how everyone has magnesium deficiency. And this one, me and AJ were talking about it, just an incredible amount of magnesium in the nuts of the Ozark Chinquapin.